MSC Cruisecast is a Triple T production. Now, the Taste Try travel team of Beth and Chris.
Sorry.
We're starting. Hello, Chris.
I was doing my vocal exercises. Caught me unawares.
Welcome, everyone, to MSC Podcast.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
One of Chris's favorite movies. All right.
Oh, golly.
We're taking a little break.
Oh, my word. Look at... Can I just say that
Sure.
I said I was going to grow my hair until our next cruise.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that lasted about less than a week.
You know, I like it short and I like it long, but in between,
It's
I
hard.
despise my hair. So I'm dealing with that right now.
That's
I don't
right.
know. It may come off.
Well, I also wanted to kind of update everyone. I know a lot of you sent love and support online, but our dog has been sick. She is doing much better. But our dog Stash, which is short for pistachio. If anyone
Right,
was
not
curious.
a mustache.
Not mustache.
Everybody
Pistachio.
thinks it's for a mustache, especially because we live in hipster
Asheville.
North Carolina.
That's right.
So everybody's like, oh, you named your dog after
Stash.
a mustache.
She has this very strange allergy that the doctors and we can just not figure out. It just happens every year around this time, and it's not anything that we can find. So
Yes, they've done all sorts of tests on her.
so many tests. So we're the next thing we're going to look into is maybe some autoimmune, something like that. So for those of you who don't know, Stash is what? She's 7 years old. She's maybe almost 8.
She's 9.
She is a pit pointer mix. She's all brindle, super, super smart. And she has, I forget, what made her go blind?
Valley fever.
Valley fever. She got valley fever when we lived in Arizona, and she's about, 95% blind?
Yeah, she can kind of see objects when they get
and
really
shadows,
close, or
yeah.
if things move in
Yeah.
a certain area, she can see that. But
we always feel so bad when she's sick, and she just looks at us with those big eyes. It's so
big,
sad. Big,
puffy,
blank eyes.
big puffy face eyes.
Okay, I know some of you guys have signed up for our group cruise, and I know it seems like it's so far away. October next year seems so far, but it's going to come up quick, and you are going to want to be on this ship. If you have seen any of the...
I'm going to want to be on this ship,
You are going to be on this ship.
I didn't know if you were including me in that.
The question, will you be on the cliffhanger?
I will 1,000% be on the cliffhanger. It reminds me... Oh, go ahead and describe what it is.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of.
So it's basically this swing that this arm, you're going to get and it's only 4 swings, 4 individual people at a time. And they'll kind of lock you in. And then this little arm kind of goes up and out over the ship. So you'll actually be over the edge of the ship, and it's 160 feet above the water, and you'll be swinging. Now, I was telling Chris, because I was reading a little bit about it, and it actually says that each individual swing is going to be propelled back and forth, so you don't have to pump your legs try to pump your legs. Oh, let's go and see how far you can get. That's not the kind of swing it is. It's going to be,
Hey, can you push me? You're like
I know.
reaching out, trying to grab a random stranger to push me out.
Yeah. I think I'll be on it too. I don't have too much of a problem being that high up, especially in a kind of a swing situation. I actually, on some of the Royal Caribbean ships that have the the plank on the little ropes course that you walk over the edge of the ship, I was able to do that. No problem.
I did that on NCL's Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was frightening being out, 70 feet above the water with the water going by, and you walk out there with nothing
because it's only that one rope. So I don't think I'll have a problem with it. It'll be interesting to see how much it's going to cost, because there's definitely going to be a cost involved in it.
$49.99.
Well, if you think about it, there's only 4 swings, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to do it. So it'll be interesting.
It reminds me of many, many years ago. They still have it, I think, in Las Vegas on the Stratosphere.
Okay.
They had a roller coaster.
Yep.
You remember that?
You think that's still there?
I don't
even know if the Stratosphere is still there. It's
really
been so long. Maybe. We did the roller coaster though.
Yeah, we did the roller coaster.
That was on top.
And yeah, we were like 1,000 feet up in the air on a roller coaster that kind of went. It really, because you didn't really like look down over the edge. You just kind of, did some twists and turns up on top of the Stratosphere.
Looking out
so you're more looking out.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel like the entire, like when I was done, I'm like, well, that wasn't bad at all.
Right.
Because you just kind of feel like you're up high and looking out over the city.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, because I think they still have the Stratosphere and they added some more stuff up there. Like, I think now there's stuff that like lowers you down like this.
Gotcha.
Maybe that's somewhere else.
That
maybe,
might be hard to do, yeah.
Maybe I'm mixing it up with somewhere else. But anyway, that seems like that would be harder, yes.
Right.
When you're looking down, straight down. That's when I have a problem.
Yeah.
But looking out is no problem. So, but I like those kind of fun thrill
I think it's gonna be fun
things. So
to wrap the
yes, what?
Just you want to be on this ship, so if you're interested in going with us, check out the flyer we have on it's gonna be posted in the description of this podcast as well as our social media, so check it out. We still have some good rates available.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have like what? We have like 9 or 10.
I think we have 9 or 10 cabins booked already, and I'm so excited. I'm secretly planning our bar crawl. Secretly planning it.
It's gonna be
so many fun bars. Oh my god!
I'm just talking about the whole cruise.
The whole cruise
going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Because
it's going to be a relatively new ship. It's a few months old by that time.
Yeah.
And we get to meet so many people that have supported us.
I'm looking forward to meeting so many of you. I'm so excited when I saw them.
It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's going to be a fun group. So, all right. Well, today's podcast, we're talking about something that maybe some people overlook a little bit. Some people probably don't even visit anymore. But it's the MDR, main dining room. Every cruise ship has one. And actually, they're starting to have multiple now. But when we are talking about doing this, the most beautiful main dining room that I can remember, and this is a long time ago, right? We were on the inaugural cruise of Freedom of the Seas, and Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas. And this was the most beautiful main dining room. It was 3 stories. It's kind of red and gold, and they have like the balconies that you can sit by and look down, and they have the curved staircases to the back. I don't know, there's something just so elegant and wonderful. I just have such good memories about that dining room.
Yeah, it was a beautiful dining room. It was way more like,
reminded me of the Titanic for some reason.
Yeah, way more elegant and way more posh.
Yeah. Than the previous Carnival ships that we had been on, which was like Vegas and very showy and stuff like that.
Right. And I think that they're starting to, well, they're not starting to, many years ago, probably 5 or 6, 7 years ago, they've now kind of starting to tone it down, and everybody's going for that Viking
muted,
Norwegian,
clean,
the Viking Cruise Line Norwegian look, clean lines and muted colors and stuff like that. So.
But that was even back when, like, I don't know if, I can't remember if there were specialty restaurants on the Freedom. If there were not that many, not as many that are on there now. But during that time, at least, we didn't go to specialty restaurants. We didn't like spend a lot of money. So like the main dining room was where we went every night.
Every once in a while we might have done a steak somewhere, but I think that was pretty much like all the main dining rooms that they had.
Exactly. Or all the specialty.
Specialty restaurants they had was like a steakhouse.
Right.
And that was pretty much it.
And so there's a common kind of thought process, and tell me what you think about this, Chris, that, older ships, or back then when the main dining room was the food was good. And then kind of this transition into having all of these specialty restaurants, and having those more options, and people pay to go to the specialty restaurants. So of course the cruise lines probably want them to do that. And then the quality of the food in the main dining room has gone downhill a good amount. I mean, not maybe every cruise line, but in general.
I'm going to say that when cruise lines stopped parading around on a giant silver platter at Baked Alaska with sparklers going off, and they had the chefs in their little hats, and they would parade around, and everybody clap and go, ooh, sparklers. That's when the quality went downhill, right there. Well, I'll say that I think overall it has gone down. Now it varies from cruise line to cruise line, obviously. Even back then it did.
Yeah.
But I would say that it has gone down for a couple of reasons. I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theory person.
Like me.
I like to believe. Yeah, you get in all of them. I like to, but I think they're fun to get into, but I think that most of the time it's baloney and people are reading into stuff that they really probably shouldn't be reading stuff into. Exactly. It is fun. But so I'm not sure that they lower the quality so that people go to the specialty restaurants. I don't think that's necessarily what happens. It might be a thought process of somebody up high in accounting, like, let's try to lower that so we can drive people to, that's their business model is driving people towards revenue generating areas. They think like that, but I don't think that like chefs think like that. Right. Like, you're right. In the main kitchen, I don't think the head chef is like,
don't make that good.
Yeah. Stop adding garlic to that. It's going to start tasting good. And then people aren't going to go to the bistro restaurant or whatever restaurant. Right. I don't think that's necessarily what it is. I think more than anything is with the number of specialty restaurants that are going up and cruising, also the amount of passengers per boat are getting higher and higher. So they have
that's true,
lots more meals that they have to make. And I think that
that has to do with the quality.
I think that's going to lower the quality of when you can focus on 2 plates of dish rather than 30 plates.
Yeah. And you see
food.
That in the yacht club.
Sorry, plates of dish. What is that?
That's the new.
I don't even know it. I speak English good. Plates of food. You can focus on a smaller amount. Yeah. Obviously your quality is going to go up because you can pay attention to a little bit more details. And when
there's like 6,000 people on a ship that you got to feed multiple times a day. Yeah.
I think that contributes a little bit more to the quality decline rather than the evil chefs in the kitchen trying to drive people to the specialty restaurants.
Well, I would say that
it's like the movie Twister. I just have to say it's the movie Twister. For some reason in the movie Twister, one of my favorite movies of all time, just goofy silliness on screen, big spectacular explosions, but they have good meteorologists and they have evil meteorologists. I don't think in the real world there's good meteorologists and there's evil meteorologists. I don't think that exists.
Right. Maybe.
So I'm probably in cruise ship kitchens. There's probably not the good chefs.
And then the evil.
They're trying to make that really good food, and then there's the evil chefs that are starting to sabotage the main dining room food.
That would be an interesting movie.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about MDRs in MSC.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So the first time we were in the main dining room was when we were in the seashores. That was, goodness, over 2 years ago now. And that is one of the places that we all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that face.
that was one of the places that we fell in love with MSC I think the food was so flavorful, and like we were surprised. There was like spice, there was salt, there was some good flavors in that food, and we still continue to enjoy the main dining rooms. We think that maybe the MSC Italian chefs, maybe whatever it is, aren't afraid of flavor as much.
Yeah, I've read people are like have the complete opposite experience that we've had every single time on a cruise. And so it makes me wonder what their palate is normally if they think it's bland food in MSC.
So that's a lot
MDRs,
of what
because
people say.
I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
I think that they really put spices in, and they're not afraid of the salt and the like vinegars and stuff like that, kind of awaken your palate.
Yeah.
So
now I did notice a difference between the Seashore when we first did 2 years ago. There were quite a number. It was a good sized menu, and there were some things that were not necessarily American flavors on there. But when we were on the Magnifica this last time, I noticed the menu had changed a little bit, and I think it was a little bit more Americanized. So that's kind of a bummer for me, because I like more interest. I like that culinary journey you can have in the main dining room.
Can I just say, reminded me real quick, I've never seen it on a cruise before, and I've since never seen it on a cruise. Okay, what was they had a niçoise salad. That is so un-American.
Very much so.
Like you won't find our dog is going, she's feeling good. She's yelling. You won't find niçoise salad on any American menu. Come on.
No.
That is a very specialty European thing. Yeah. And they had it on the MDR on Seashore.
The Seashore, yeah.
And that I remember thinking, wow, they got a niçoise salad. You don't get that. You don't get that on most on any other cruise line. I've never seen that I've never seen it on any other MSC cruise, like you said. So
yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to talk just a little bit about food in just a minute, but I want to say something else that is, and I'm curious to know all of your guys' thoughts too, because I feel like the table sharing is maybe a little more prevalent on MSC. They have quite a lot of 6 tops, 8 tops, 10 tops. And so if you have a Bella or Fantastica, so obviously if you're not Oria or Yacht Club, you are pretty much assigned to a random table. And we've always gotten assigned to very large tables. On the Magnifica, we were assigned to a 10 top, right?
Yeah.
We were assigned to a 10 top.
Yes, that's right.
We did change that, but and so you have more of a chance on MSC because a lot of Europeans are going to cruise on that to maybe have table mates that are, I mean, sure they speak English, but English is not their first language. So there might be some kind of communication barrier.
Right.
And I think you might see that a little bit more on MSC.
Right. I mean,
I don't think it's a big deal, but
I don't think it is either.
Yeah.
I've never come across someone on MSC that doesn't speak a little bit of English.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of cater to the English market, obviously, in our podcast, so I can only speak to that.
Yeah.
I mean, when they cruise maybe in Europe, I don't know, it's probably a little bit more, but there's probably mostly Europeans on that cruise, so they're probably speaking another language at their table rather than mainly English.
But I feel like the ability to have a 2-top is so much less on MSC. So, for example, on the Magnifica, there was 2,500 guests, and there were 10 2-tops in the dining room.
Yes, exactly.
And we had to fight for one of them.
And we had to wait.
When we had to wait, instead of dining early like we had requested, they had to push us to late dining in order to accommodate the 2-top. And yeah.
I have to say that I think that they're moving in an MSC way, more towards...
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Well, I saw it.
Okay.
Like on Magnifica, they're big tables.
They are.
On Seashore, which is the newest ship that we've been on,
right?
Or theirs, which is now what, three years old.
Yeah.
Even though their tables were they were aligned, so they looked like they were in big groups, but they were they left a little bit of separation,
little tiny space.
Tiny little bit of separation in between them. I think that happens a lot on cruises where they kind of pack them in. But so it felt like you were in a big table, but you really kind of were in either a 2 or a 4. Now they did have bigger tables than that, definitely. But they had a lot more 2 and 4 lined up in a giant row, but there was a little bit of separation. So that was a little bit more on Seashore.
But I will say that there's nowhere near the amount of two tops that there are on Carnival, Royal Caribbean, or NCL. No way. No way. So you are most likely going, if you are, going to the main dining room and you're on MSC, you're most likely going to be sharing a table.
Which I don't have a problem with.
And I agree.
This is what I do the first night.
What?
This is what I do. When we're at a 10 top, I immediately make friends with the person next to me.
Okay.
And then I pick out somebody across the table from me, and they're my arch enemy for the entire cruise. Like I just give them like
the evil eye.
And I make sure that it's the person across the table from me, so that they can't
do anything.
They can't steal my bread or my butter.
It can't actually affect you.
Yeah, exactly. We just show up at the table and like.
Do they evil eye back?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Arch enemy. They know. They can feel it. So we do that, but the person next to me, that's my friend, because we're sharing the rolls and the butter.
That's right. We don't do that. Most likely we end up with two tops, and it's a little bit harder on MSC for us to get two top. And we do that simply because we film a lot when we're on, and it makes it very uncomfortable for other people. So I'm just kind of saying that as to like, you're going to be sharing a table.
Yeah. Whether you're on a newer ship where you're kind of not sharing, you are sharing, because you're going to be right next to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I want to just kind of ask you guys, do you enjoy when you're on because I know a lot of you guys are listening because you go on MSC. Do you enjoy sharing your table? Do you enjoy meeting other people that way, or is it super awkward? I'm interested to know.
I am too, because I would imagine that most people probably don't want to share. But I imagine there's a little bit of people that find it kind of fun to meet new people and hear about their experiences while they're on the cruise too, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So as long as you figure out who your arch enemy is. Yeah, because you don't want to hear from that dude. Well, he can just keep his opinions to himself.
He's given the evil eye again. Well, we have it was funny because we are friends with another channel called the Traveling Gilberts. And we've known them for a couple years now. And they have a live every Saturday night. And it's super fun. It's a super fun kind of group of content creators, and we love being a part of it. And they were sharing the story. My goodness, what ship were they just on?
They were on the
No, not Miracle. They were on the Dream. The Dream, Carnival Dream is one of their favorite ships. They love it. Anyway, they just got back from a week on the Dream, and they were telling us a story about the dining room. And the first night they went, and no one else was assigned to their same booth. Now, I don't remember the booths themselves, but booths tend to be kind of close quarters. And they're not very large. I think we were had a booth when we were on the Sunshine, if you remember. I think it's kind of that.
Yep.
Kind of tight quarters. So they went to the dining room the first night and they were by themselves. They enjoyed the dining room, had a great dinner. The next night they went somewhere else. But then the third night they started dining. They were in their booth and they were enjoying their dinner. And apparently there was another couple assigned to that same very booth, which they didn't see before, but this is the first night that both couples were dining at the same time. So they were like mid-meal, it sounded like, and the waiter brings up this other couple who was assigned to the same very small, tight quarter booth. And they said it was like really awkward because there was plenty of other space that they could have been assigned to, but Ronnie, it's Teresa and Ronnie, who are the Gilberts, was like, yeah, no, we're not sharing this space. And they got up and stepped away and they had finally found another table. But it just was like a super awkward situation where it was just this really tight space. And I found it so funny because both of them were like, yeah, we're not doing this. And I think, Chris, you would do the same exact thing.
Oh, I would do the same thing. I don't mind sitting at tables that are made for 10 people with 10 people.
Yeah.
But a booth? That's pushing it.
Yeah. And if they're pretty tight as it is. So anyway, just thought it was funny that happened. And yeah.
That's a strange thing to happen. That's one of the strangest stories I've ever heard on a cruise. Them saying, yeah, you're going to be sharing this booth with another couple that you don't know. So decide where you guys want to sit. If you want like men on one side and women on the other, or couples on one side and a couple on the other.
Like touching knees, right? I mean, that's how tight those things are. I thought that was so funny, which they ended up figuring out another way and they didn't go back to that same booth. But I don't think we've ever run into a situation that I can remember that we sat with somebody really awkward. Can you?
No, I remember one where we were in a big table and there was like a young couple and they obviously did not want to be in a big table. Yeah. And so they were just silent for that first night, and then we never saw them again. Don't know if they moved to another table or
just didn't go back.
Or just didn't go back because they were like, we don't want to sit with it. And that guy's giving me the evil eye. I didn't pick him out. So that was a little awkward just because they were just silent.
Yeah.
And like just kind of looking down the entire time. Like, do not address me. Don't talk to me, please. I just want to eat and talk to my wife.
That's right. I think that though in ships nowadays, like you don't have, I think a lot of times if people are super awkward, they're super uncomfortable and they just don't come back. They just dine somewhere else. The other thing with MSC, and a lot of people do this in the main dining room, a lot of companies, cruise lines do this, is they upcharge for more than one entree.
Yes. Yes, officially. Here's their official quote. Is there or official on their website?
On their website, yep.
The questions, frequently asked questions. Is there additional cost for a second entree in the main dining rooms? Their answer: meals at the main restaurants are complimentary per each guest. Mm-hmm. For guests who wish to order a second dish or more on specific dinner menu sections, an additional surcharge of $5 will be applied.
Yep. That's their official. We were on the Magnifica and we ordered an extra entree to share in the center. We didn't get charged. So I think maybe if you were going excessive, maybe they might, but...
Yeah, I think that might, if you were like just being dumb about it, then they might try to charge you that just to discourage you from being dumb about it.
Yeah.
But...
Have you guys ever gotten charged for another entree?
I mean,
let us know.
Sometimes we want to try a couple of entrees. Yeah. I want to.
Especially the pasta.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's almost like, can I have like the pasta as a side dish and then like, some What goes with pasta? Fried chicken.
That's right. Fried chicken always goes. Fried chicken goes with anything. So
we've gotten that before, you know, and
it's never been an issue.
Charged. Yeah. So I have a feeling that if you're just being nice and, hey, can I try that too? And then, or you know, anything like that, your waiter's gonna try to take care of you.
I think
that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They don't want to charge you $5, so don't give them an excuse to charge you $5.
Exactly.
So just be nice about it and ask them, hey, can I try that too?
Yeah.
You're not going to get charged $5.
Set times in the dining room. So if you're Bella or Fantastica, depending on your ship and where you're sailing, it can vary a bit. But I thought this was interesting because this graphic came directly from their website. So early seating is generally anywhere from 5:30 to 6. Late seating is anywhere 7:30, 8. But when I looked at their online, it said on the seaside in the Caribbean, early seating is 5:30, late seating is 7:30 and 9:30. That looks to me like there's 3 seatings. I've never seen 3 seatings in the main dining room.
Neither have I.
Am I wrong
I'm
on
wondering if that's like something that like is a holdover from when like it's in Europe, because lots of times Europeans
will eat later. But this says the Caribbean.
I know it says Caribbean, and I've never seen it says it on the Meraviglia too.
It does.
And I didn't see that at the Of course, we were in the yacht club.
That's true.
So,
but I've never seen a third seating for dinner. So I thought that was that was interesting.
I think it's for secondsies.
What does
so
that mean?
you have dinner, and then you're like, an hour later, you're like, I want second dinner now. I want second dinner. So you just go back at 9:30. Yeah. I wonder, because who in the world
eats at 9:30?
Well, I just answered my own question earlier. A lot of Europeans eat very late.
Yeah.
Do they eat at 9:30 though?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But I can't imagine like opening up my travel documents and like, you've been assigned 9:30 for your dinner, and be like,
oh my gosh.
Really? Like the disco is going to close before I'm done with my dinner.
I know.
And I like to disco.
Thank you. The other thing I thought that was good to note is any special kind of request. So anyone with allergies, price specific or dietary restrictions, they have a special form you can fill out, and you send it to them 21 days prior to your sailing, and then confirm once you are on board. So the maitre d' is usually somewhere on boarding day, and they usually have the sign, or they'll tell you where. And it's always good to any kind of special request. What?
He like stands by a sign with like an arrow. It says maitre d', and there's an arrow that points down at him. What are you talking about? He stands by a sign.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
Oh, well, there's usually a place he stands, and there's a sign that points to him.
Says maitre d'?
Yeah. Yeah. Or dining room request or something like that.
What you're talking about.
Okay, so when we were on the Magnifica.
What you talking about? I want to see pictures of this.
You weren't there.
Like a maitre d' standing next to a sign that says maitre d'.
No, he's not standing next to the sign. There's a sign somewhere that points to where he is. And he was at like this little podium thing, and he had his computer, and he was taking special requests, and he was like accommodating changes. What are you talking about? I don't know why that's confusing.
I don't know, because I've never seen a sign that says maitre d' with an arrow and a guy standing next to it. I've never seen that.
That's because you don't do any of the planning.
Okay, I guess that happens. Is there a little sign next to the towel towel boy at the pool? It says towel boy.
No.
And he points at him.
Typically, the maitre d's not out in the public space. He's usually in the restaurants. But on the boarding day, he's out in the public spaces.
The room attendant has to carry it. Room to room. He has to carry it. Room attendant. Everywhere he stops, he's got to carry his sign with him.
Oh my God, no. I don't understand why that's so difficult.
I've just never seen that sign, Stinny. I can't
He's
imagine.
not like literally standing by the
The
sign.
maitre d' has to stand by a sign that points at him.
He's not standing next to the sign. The sign is directing people to him.
Okay.
Anyway, if you were assigned late, early, whatever, if you want to make changes, you need to find that sign and find the maitre d' on embarkation day, and he can make those changes for you. That's all I was trying to say.
It's a sign that points to the maitre d'. Okie dokie. I'm gonna seriously look for this on our next cruise.
Okay.
I am, and I'm going to have so much fun if there's a sign that says maitre d' and an arrow, and it points somewhere.
Okay.
And at the end of wherever it points, there's a guy standing there. Little name tag says maitre d' on it.
Or a restaurant manager, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
we'll look for it on the seashore. How about that?
Yes, we're definitely going to look for that.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Main dining rooms?
No, I don't want to get into the quality of the food. I really don't, because that's a whole separate. Mm-hmm. That's a whole separate podcast.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk for hours on the quality of the food, because people have such different, varying.
Everyone is
tastes and opinions and thoughts, and what it should be and what it shouldn't be, and what should be on the menu and what it shouldn't be on the menu. So that's like a whole nother thing. So I don't want to cover what's offered in there, just kind of the stuff that gets you there. And yeah.
We really enjoy the MDRs, and we try at least to dine there twice. A lot of times we're pulled into all the specialty restaurants because they're fun, but I think the MDR is a staple, and I really love it, and I love the offerings that MSC has. So
yeah,
give it a try for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I like the MDR. I don't necessarily like the assigned times on MDRs. I think that's a negative, just because I'm a person that likes to fly by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
I don't like planning things, so it kind of annoys me when, we're playing games or we're out enjoying a drink somewhere,
and it's time to get ready.
Like, you look down your watch, you're like, I gotta go get ready for dinner.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be like, I want to finish and I'm just enjoying this right now, and then when we're done, we'll go get some dinner. So I do like that non-assigned times more than assigned times. So.
Yeah. So if you are an Oria, if you have the Oria experience, you sometimes have a separate dining room, or you have a section of the main dining room, and that is anytime. So as long as the dining room is open, you can go in and dine, which is really nice, but you have to have that Oria. So, and we haven't done that yet. We'll get there.
Yeah. So the only solution for me is always Oria or Yacht Club, and then I can dine
always Yacht Club
anytime I want.
Always Yacht Club.
Yeah, exactly. So
okay, well, I think that kind of wraps up. Let us know your thoughts. I know some people have very strong feelings about the MDR, so let us know your experiences. We'd love to hear them. And of course, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen, come on over to YouTube and be part of the community of comments.
Right on. You did that off the top of your head. I'm so impressed.
As always, thank you guys so much for listening, watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.